Today's topic, Spider-Boy. So I was at the local Target today, stopped by the figure aisle, and happened to find this guy. So let's get into it and see what he's all about. Drop me a comment down below, guys. How do you feel about this Spider-Man retro card packaging? I think it's pretty cool, but I personally prefer the animated series more. Now that we've got our figure out of the box, let's go ahead and get into some accessories. Looking at our accessory tray here, we've got a pretty standard assortment. We've got a masked head with that open mouth. We've got some thwippers, and then his backpack. And if we look at our figure, we've of course got that masked head sculpt and some fists. And we didn't come here for a plastic tray, so let's get into the figure. And we're back. So let's get into some articulation. Pretty standard stuff here for Marvel Legends. We're gonna go pretty quick. You've got a disc hinge in the head, allows you to look that far back, allows you to look that far forward. You're going to get 360 degrees of rotation out of that head. Shoulders, of course, 360. If you're looking for that height, you of course get a little bit of ball here, but you're getting that much height out of that shoulder. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then you of course get that wrist joint for rotation and pivot. This figure does have the ab crunch waist twist combo, so you get that much crunch going forward, that much crunch going backwards, and of course you get 360 degrees at the waist. Looking at our lower body articulation, this figure does not seem to have drop down, so going forward you get that much range, going outwards you get nearly perfect splits, which is very nice to see. You do get your standard thigh swivel, you do get double jointed pinless knees, a boot swivel, and hinging downward at the ankle does not give you too much range due to the back of that shoe, but he does hinge up pretty well going upwards, and not a whole lot of ankle rock either, but of course with those high top sneakers, his ankles are a tad bit limited. And with our articulation segment out of the way, let's get into some poses. And we are back. So let's get into some final thoughts. Guys, I'd be lying to you if I told you this was my favorite figure in the world. Admittedly, I am not a fan of Hasbro's ab crunch and waist twist combo. I would love to have seen this figure come with a diaphragm cut and then of course our reverse ab crunch, but I am sure that this is the best they could do with the time they were given. The paintwork is solid, the sculpt is solid, the head sculpts are nice. Given the nature of the sneakers, his ankle articulation is a tad bit limited, but in the hands of a talented poser, he can still be made to look nice. So with all of that being considered, paintwork clean, sculpt clean, some minor issues I have with the articulation, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this figure a 7 out of 10. Now that is of course weighted for Hasbro Marvel Legends standards. If this figure was released from SHF or Mafex, of course it'd be a little bit harder on it, but given the nature of this figure and its affordable nature, we are not going to be hard on it. So if you can find this guy, I know he's a bit rare, definitely go ahead and pick him up, give him a shot. He's gonna fit well into my collection. I don't have a Spider-Boy figure yet, so I'm happy to have him. And with that being said, guys, leave me a like, comment, favorite, and repost this video if you'd be so kind. Drop me a follow if you like my voice. And with that being said, guys, I am out. Talk to you later. Peace.